Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mic Drop with Julia, where we get to see a person behind the title. Today, I'm very happy to welcome Meenal Iyer, who is VP of Data in SurveyMonkey, to my show. Welcome, Meenal.
Thank you so much, Julia. It's awesome to be here.
So you've had a very interesting career. Tell me about a story of something that's happened in your career that still makes you very happy and makes you light up, that you're really proud of.
So this is about 11, 12 years ago now. I was working in a company called Blackhawk Network. And at that time, cloud infrastructure had just come in. And the bulk of my team, actually, all of my team, me included, we were just very, very experienced with on-premise. And all of a sudden, we were told that, hey, we have to shift to cloud. And I was thinking, what is the best way in which I can get my team up to speed? Because things were moving at a very, very, very fast pace. And so what I decided to do was essentially challenge my team, gave them a 1.5 month exercise in which I told them to build a full pipeline end to end on AWS in like 1.5 months.
Oh.
And I told them that the one who builds the best one will essentially have a demo that we would do in front of our CTO. And you won't believe it, like every single one of them built a pipeline which looked different than the other. And it literally brought tears to my eyes when they demoed all of theirs. So I could choose which was the best. Obviously, it was a hard decision choosing which was the best. For me, that was a very eye-opening moment that as a leader, it is so important for us to understand that every person on your team has potential. And it is for you to kind of go and discover that potential. That for me has been my proudest moment. I have had many other proud moments, but this one really, really stands out. And I took a lot of that learning through the rest of my career, managing and leading people, and realized that this is so important to do. So now I make learning and growth a very, very key and important part of any organization that I go to, and ensure that my team gets all the support and the benefit of learning.
Yeah, that's one of the things that you really need to help as a leader to enable people to go and learn. Just letting people explore their passion, and that gets you much better results overall. I completely agree with you. So how did you pick the best one? Like, that's a tough one. If you had like, if you,
It was very, very hard. So they had to build both batch and streaming architectures, and they had to build the architecture all the way through visualization. So it's end to end. And so what I did is I looked at the ones that did the most optimal performance. Our data sets were essentially a streaming data set from NASDAQ, which was the stock price. And then the batch one was essentially the Yelp data set. It's the review data set. And so I looked at performance, cleanliness of code, the way the architecture was thought through, both in terms of the build out of the batch and streaming, and then the usage of all the technology was there that was used in AWS itself. These are basically all the components essentially I used in deciding which was the best one. Two of them very, very much stood out, and we chose one of them to be the one that we finally used in our move to production eventually.
That's a wonderful story. I really like that. And I wish I don't have a team anymore, so I can't really do this. But if I ever have a team again, I will definitely use that approach, because I think it's a great challenge to give to the team and just see everybody step up to it and deliver. And it's great both for the results and for the team itself, especially when it's a new technology.
I agree. So yes, if you ever need it, remind me, I can share the exercise with you. You'll obviously have to tweak it for the current right now.
Well, yeah, this time around, it's going to be, how do you adjust Gen AI model or something like that, right? Take a pick a Gen AI model available and make it work in our environment with our data and produce some kind of useful result. So probably now that would be this type of exercise, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Something for the this one. My team is now working on seeing how we can bring agentic AI into the work that we do on a regular basis, because 1.5 to 2 years, the role is going to change. It's going to shift.
So let me ask you, if you were standing in front of a group of data management professionals, what would your advice be to them?
There are actually two things that I always think about, right? One is, as a data team, we are in a very, very unique position. We are neither business nor are we technology. We stand in the center of it. And for me, what is most important and what I would encourage every data management professional to do is sometimes step back from the technical and look at the business side of things, because eventually what you are building out is the one that generates business value and impact. And so you have to have the ability to translate business to technical and vice versa. And you need to be that liaison for business to be able to understand as to what the data is telling you. So really good storytelling skills. So the ability to tell the story of what the data is saying. I'm not saying that you twist the story to what they want to hear, but tell the story of what the data is trying to tell you and generating value out of the data itself. The second thing I would focus on is learning. Our industry is evolving on an hourly basis. It's evolving at a very, very rapid pace. And so ensure that both you and your team set aside time to make sure you're keeping up with the industry and not staying back, because you are going to have to change along with what the industry is doing. So I dedicate at least a half an hour to 1 hour to reading every single day. I have a whole bunch of articles that come to my inbox. And I just read through all of them very quickly, and I'm like, okay, I'm up to speed now. And then for my team, again, education is a big, big, big part. And so we have something called as an academy that we run, which is a mandatory 2-hour learning that I enforce for my team. And this year, the focus essentially is going to be everything AI and getting them up to speed on everything that's there, because sometimes developers are all about heads down work and project, and they don't care about anything else going out. And this is my way of forcing you to get into it and making sure that you are ready for what's coming up in the market. So those are my two big
especially on the learning. So one of them is paying attention yourself, but especially for the leaders, doing what you've just said, creating space for your team, because we have so many projects and so many deliverables, and you always have your timeline too tight, your scope is too big, and you don't have enough resources, which creates for everybody basically the race to complete, and takes out not just the time, but also space in your brain, because to learn, you have to have a room in your brain.
Exactly, you have to shift something else out. So yes,
I think it's really important for us to create that room in schedule. It's not enough to say no meetings Friday. That's fine, but all of your Friday is getting your code ready to go into production on a day that's a month earlier than it should have been. That ain't helping.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, thank you for coming to my show.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I really appreciate it. I enjoyed this. Thank you.